What if getting into a top university had nothing to do with intelligence? What if it could be bought? In 2019, a massive scandal exposed the truth. Dozens of wealthy parents had secretly paid to get their children into elite schools, not through talent, not through hard work, but through fraud. This is the college admissions scam. At the center of it all was one man, Rick Singer. He didn't look powerful. He didn't come from wealth, but he understood something most people didn't. The system had weaknesses, and the right people were willing to pay to exploit them. Singer built a hidden network, a system designed to guarantee admission. No matter what, he called it the side door. There were already two known paths into elite universities: the front door, grades, test scores, hard work, and the back door, donations, connections, legacy admissions. But Singer created something different, a secret path, the side door, and it was illegal. Here's how it worked. First, standardized test scores. Students would take exams like the SAT or ACT, but instead of earning their scores, they were given an advantage. Test centers were controlled. Proctors were bribed. In some cases, someone else even took the test. Answers were corrected after submission. Scores were artificially boosted. Suddenly, average students looked exceptional. But that was only the beginning. The second method was even more shocking. Fake athletic recruitment. Students were presented as elite athletes, even if they had never played the sport. Photos were edited. Achievements were invented. Profiles were fabricated. And then, coaches were bribed. University coaches accepted these students as recruited athletes, which gave them a huge advantage in the admissions process to the university. Everything looked legitimate, but in reality, it was all built on lies. Millions of dollars flowed through this system. Payments disguised as donations, labeled as consulting fees, hidden in plain sight, and for years, it worked. No alarms, no suspicion, because the system itself looked real. But behind the scenes, federal investigators were watching. The FBI began tracking the operation. Phone calls were recorded, emails were monitored, money transfers were traced, and slowly, a pattern began to emerge. This wasn't just isolated cheating, it was a coordinated scheme. In 2019, everything came crashing down. Authorities revealed the truth. Dozens of parents were charged, including celebrities, public figures, people with influence, all exposed. Some had paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, others over $1 million, all for one thing: a guaranteed future. But the consequences were real. Arrests were made, court cases followed. Some parents were sentenced to prison, others paid heavy fines, and many lost something even bigger: their reputation. The man behind it all, Rick Singer, pleaded guilty. The entire system collapsed. The side door was closed, but the damage was already done. Because this case revealed something deeper, something uncomfortable: that the system was never truly fair, that access could be bought, that opportunity could be manipulated, and that for some people, the rules were different. The biggest shock wasn't just the fraud, it was how easily it worked, how long it went unnoticed, and how many people were willing to participate. Because in the end, this wasn't just about education. It was about power, money, and influence. The lesson: not every success story is earned. Not every opportunity is equal. And sometimes, the system you trust is easier to manipulate than you think.